Welcome to Built from Love, the podcast for moms birthing businesses and babies. I'm Erin Pratt, and thank you so much for being here.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Built from Love. Today, I'm sharing a more personal episode all about how I'm preparing for my postpartum phase with baby number 3 as a business owner and a mom of 2 girls. I always find it interesting to hear how other entrepreneurs who are moms are juggling the arrival of a new baby along with their business. This will be my first baby where I actually own my own business. The other two were born when I was working for corporations. So those maternity leaves were a bit more straightforward. You sort of know what you're getting with a company. But as a business owner, there's so much more to consider and prepare for in order to keep your business operational while giving you the rest that is so needed and well deserved after giving birth to a new life. So, today I'm going to share 2 parts. First, how I'm preparing my business for a maternity leave coming up in just a few weeks. And second, how I'm preparing my personal life and my family and my house for that same leave. So let's get right into it. So, starting with business, primarily I have been a website designer over the last 3.5 years, and I still take website clients. I have a large number of past clients, and some of those clients are on quarterly retainers. I don't do a lot of marketing to advertise my website services at this point since I'm pivoting my business a bit, but I do still have website clients in progress. So a few months ago, I messaged to my audience that I would no longer be taking on new clients. So with that, it was giving me the lead time I needed to begin wrapping up these projects for my new website clients. And I'm shifting my focus to primarily servicing my past clients and those who are on a quarterly retainer. I meet with them once a quarter to provide them with website work and updates along with a quarterly call. So, with this structure, I'm able to really start to tie up these loose ends entering Q3 by batching most of that quarterly client work in early July in preparation for my baby's arrival later that month. And then by the time I am ready to get back in touch with those clients in October, we should be good to go. So I'm saying no to new opportunities to allow myself space in my business to rest without worrying about leaving my clients behind or not being able to keep up with client work. With this, of course, comes an income cut, but I'm also simultaneously looking at my expenses to see where I can trim things down, at least temporarily. There's a lot of subscriptions that you can downgrade or even pause for a period of time without completely canceling them. I also found that if you look like you're about to cancel a subscription, they'll also offer you a discounted rate. So, something to give a try if you are looking to lower your expenses for a period of time to relieve some of that financial burden, to earn enough money to keep those bills paid, is to just consider which subscriptions you really need. I know they add up a lot as business owners. We have to subscribe to everything and all the tools, which are so helpful, but can certainly add up in terms of business expenses. So, by lightening my expense load, I'm taking some of the pressure off myself over the course of 2 or 3 months that I'm planning on taking a leave so I can continue operating my business just at a more streamlined level. The next thing I'm doing is I am working with 2 website contractors. So, with these contractors, I am able to monitor my inbox and still continue to support clients if emergencies come up or anything urgent arises while I'm away. I have a wonderful support system built in my team to be able to handle those tasks. I fully trust them, their design skills, their customer service skills, and we simply cannot do it alone. So, in order to keep my business up and running and continue to service my clients while me myself am actually taking a rest, I am bringing in external help. And I am so excited about these 2 women who are supporting me in this time. And I know it will be a very streamlined process for my clients. Should anything arise, they will have support while I still have that space to rest. I am also batching content. So, batching content is a very popular thing that you probably have heard of at this point. I used to coach this through my coaching program. I'm a big believer in this. Our brains are not wired to switch from one task to another constantly. It actually makes us less effective and efficient, and it is so wise to batch your tasks. So while I'm preparing to be away from my computer for a number of weeks, I am slowly batching content. Instead of just recording one podcast episode, I might record two, three, maybe even four in a day and have those lined up and ready to schedule out while I'm on my leave. I can start batching my social media content, emails, anything like that can be batched. While I am letting go of perfection, and there will certainly not be as much content going out while I'm away, I am going to batch some content ahead of time to at least continue communicating with my audience and providing value while I, behind the scenes, am actually resting and away from my computer. So that is the beauty of batching content. There are so many scheduling tools out there to allow you to just line these things up ahead of time and know that your business is still moving forward, even if you're not front and center. It's also a wonderful idea to outsource this if you have the funds to do so, is to hire some sort of VA or social media content expert who can support you through that time. I am choosing to just batch my content myself, and I imagine over these first few weeks in the newborn phase, I will be popping in here and there to get things uploaded and posted. But the heavy work of actually batching the content, creating the content, all of that will be done ahead of time. And finally, I was looking ahead. So I actually was able to book a new client in October. So I know that I have some funds coming up. As soon as I am exiting my postpartum time and my maternity leave, where I start to slowly get back into work, whether it's just one day a week or maybe up to 2 days a week, I already have a client lined up. And so I know I have some work that I can line up ahead of time and come right back to. So I'm not just walking back to a computer with not much to do. So, these are a few tips for how I am preparing my business for a maternity leave. I'm planning to take almost 12 weeks, but I do intend to pop in here and there because I know that the newborn days, depending on baby and mom's recovery and all of that, there is a lot of downtime. I usually breastfeed my children. And so, with that, I might have an opportunity to hop in and check on my email or check on social media, or just pop in here and there because I love my business and it brings me joy. And it is so different than working for a company. So I have that flexibility if I want to, but I'm setting myself up to not need to at any point over the course of those weeks that I'm away. Now, moving on to how I'm preparing for baby number three in my personal life, in my home life, and my family. So, the first thing I am doing this time around is letting go of perfectionism as much as possible. I know now, with the perspective of already having two children, how fleeting these newborn weeks and days go by. And it feels like you're so in it at the time, especially as a first time mom. And it feels like sleep will never return and the days are so long. But I know now how fast these precious months go by. And I just want to soak them in. The other thing I'm definitely doing this time around is I'm not bouncing right back. After I had my second daughter, I almost took pride in how fast I recovered. I was hiking a couple days after she was born. We were going out to eat at breakfast. It was just fun. I already had a toddler. My husband was on paternity leave, and we had this time as a family together, and I wanted to enjoy it. And I felt pretty good. And so I went right back into things. And it was a mistake looking back. I hadn't given my body the proper time to heal and rest in a way that it really needed. Even though I felt good on the outside, internally, there were still wounds that were healing from birth. And I ended up having some diastasis recti, which is that abdominal separation, and some pelvic floor health issues following my second child's birth, just because I think I hadn't given my body enough time to, like, quite literally come back together. Your organs, everything inside of you shifts so drastically in pregnancy. And it takes time for your body to come back together in a way that is truly healed. And so for this time around, this is my final baby. I am going to dedicate at least 2 weeks of true bed rest and room rest. I will not be going up and down the stairs. I will not be leaving the house. I will be truly resting with my newborn and getting that healing going in my body. I'm going to wrap my belly with a belly band. I'm going to prepare some warm and nourishing and healing foods and teas ahead of time so that I can just spend those first 2 weeks after giving birth in this really sacred container of rest. I know that my husband is very supportive. He will be taking care of our 2 girls along with both my parents and his parents' help. We're building that support team around us. I know it definitely takes a village, and it's not something that's available to all women in our modern age. And too frequently, we are just either told or by our own desire, we bounce back way too quickly. And there are long term health risks to that. This is a really sacred time to bond with your sweet baby who's just arrived and allow your body the chance to recover from one of the most dramatic things it can go through. Childbirth is not uncommon. It happens every day to thousands of women, but it is still an incredibly transformative and powerful experience. And it is a lot for your body to go through. So I am certainly making space to take the time to recover this time around and do it properly. I've also been in major nesting mode. So if anyone here has been pregnant, you know what nesting mode feels like. And I've been decluttering every space in our home, and it feels very good. And I will say I'm doing this over time. So don't wait until late in your third trimester to start nesting. Do a little bit at a time over the course of your pregnancy because you do also need the rest. And I've been sure to take rest where I need it and take naps where I need it and slow down in all the ways that I've felt my body has been requesting me to slow down. But I also know that my mental health and clarity after baby is born will be that much better if I have spaces that are decluttered, that I've created systems in my home to simplify things like getting things out of the pantry or having an organized linen closet, having really neat dressers for both my girls and my baby, getting rid of old clothing sizes that no longer fit them. So as I get support with my girls, they know that when they open that drawer, everything inside fits them. Everything is folded. And this just feels really good for me. So, decluttering spaces slowly over time is something I'm doing to prepare for my postpartum time. I also have been stocking up on my postpartum essentials, all my favorite things, and just knowing my peace of mind that I have everything good to go after baby arrives. I don't really have to go shopping. We're going to do a Costco haul closer to my due date. We're stocking up on favorite snacks and goodies for our family, paper products. I know this is not the most environmentally friendly suggestion, but one really big, easy piece of advice is in those first few weeks after baby is born to diminish your dishes, just use paper plates, paper disposable cups, and flatware. It makes cleanup so much easier in those days where everybody's tired and you're just, having to eat those meals and cook already and all of these things. We do like to stock up on paper goods for that time period. I am stocking up on pads because whether you have a C-section or a vaginal birth, you will experience bleeding for a number of weeks. And all of my postpartum essentials that I will actually be linking in the show notes for you to check out or in the YouTube notes below so that you can check out what my favorite postpartum essentials are now that I have the experience of going through birth almost 3 times and what truly makes the difference in my postpartum time. Another thing I'm doing is setting up postpartum care stations around my home. The first one is in my bedroom, right next to my bed and the baby bassinet. I have a little cart with wheels that can roll and has 3 shelves, and it's where I'm going to be putting all of my essentials right near my bed. So that'll include things like diapers and wipes and burp cloths for baby, a couple of swaddles, and some onesies for changes. So I don't even have to get out of bed. It's all right there for me and baby to just be relaxing in bed and I can change her and get her taken care of. I have breastfeeding essentials like the Haka. I have breast pads for leakage, both reusable kinds and like the cotton pads. and the disposable kinds. Nipple butter, such a important thing if you are breastfeeding to reduce any pain. And also just some other things like an eye mask for myself and cozy socks, lotion and chapstick. Your hands and mouth tend to get dry after birth. And just some goodies like a couple of snacks and some water bottles to keep me hydrated and nourished while I'm breastfeeding my baby at all hours of the day. And this is a cart I can continue to restock. The next postpartum station is in my bathroom, and that's where I have a basket of all the postpartum goodies that I will be sharing with you. But this is where I'll have pads lined up, healing sprays, cooling packs, and all of that for that immediate recovery after birth. You'll only need these for a number of days or weeks after birth, but it's so nice to have that prepped. So when you come home from the hospital or your birth center, or if you're having a home birth, you have it all just accessible right there. It's right above my toilet upstairs. And then the third station I'm placing is in my living room. And that is under my baby's portable changing table in our living room. So I have diapers and wipes and diaper balm, all of that good stuff in there, burp cloths and blankets. And then I'll also have just more of that breastfeeding stuff downstairs. So when I do eventually come back downstairs to join my family and I'm in the middle of feeding the baby, everything is just accessible and right there. My word of the year has been ease, and that is certainly the word that I am bringing into postpartum. It is not about perfection. It is about serving what is best for you, your body, your baby, and your family in the most effective way. So, thinking in advance about what will be helpful to you to just rest as much as possible in those early weeks of recovery and getting to know your sweet baby, that's what should be prioritized. So, to summarize how I'm prepping my business and my life for baby number three, primarily is creating space. I am slowing down on what I'm saying yes to. I am making space in my business for clients to come later. I'm batching content to create space to continue to post, somewhat consistently without needing to be present there, and sort of just giving my business a little breathing room. I'm lowering my expenses. I'm lowering the overhead of my business and the stress of servicing clients and just giving myself that pause that I need in my business while continuing to support the clients that are there through outsourcing and systems and help. And then in my life and my house and my family, I am quite literally making space for baby by decluttering everything and anything I can, by stocking up on the essentials and the goods that I know are truly important, and not just the aesthetic or trendy stuff, but the stuff that's really going to make a difference in my postpartum phase, and making spaces around the home to care for me and baby. And then, of course, I'm also thinking of my girls. So, baby number three is coming in the summer, so they do not have co op. They will be home with us most of the time. And I think it's going to be the sweetest bonding experience. I have been organizing their playroom and preparing to have some fun activities for them to do both inside the house as well as outside with water toys in our pool to keep them happy and occupied this summer while not putting too much pressure on our family to do a whole lot besides resting and getting into our routine as a family of five. It will be new for all of us, and we are all so excited about it. So, if you are either a business owner who's thinking about getting pregnant, currently pregnant, I hope that this is helpful for you to see how I am preparing my business and life for my postpartum phase. It is such a special, sacred, and fleeting time. So, the more you can do to just give yourself that mental peace of mind that things are taken care of, letting go of what truly doesn't matter. I find that each baby I have redefines what's important in my life and business. And it'll be interesting to see how this baby transforms my business. I have found transformations within my career after having both of my girls, and they just bring so much with them. I find that I am more creative after giving birth. I have a lot of ideas about things I want to do while also simultaneously taking the time to rest and just get to know my new baby. But they often bring with them a rush of creativity and redefining your priorities and your direction as a woman, as a mom. There's truly nothing like it. Birth is no joke, it is a big deal. but it is one of the most beautiful, miraculous, and transformative experiences I believe a woman could have. And so, if you're listening to this and you're pregnant or expecting your first or a subsequent baby, I am just wishing you all the best. And I just encourage you to take it as slow as possible in all ways. Rest, be kind to yourself, give yourself grace, let go of expectations, and just soak in these moments as much as you can because, gosh, life flies by so quickly. Our children grow up so fast, and there is nothing like those sweet first days of meeting a new soul that has come to earth to be a part of your family. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, I will be linking some of my favorite postpartum products in the notes. And if you have any questions or any thoughts after hearing this episode, please reach out. I'm at Erin Nicole Pratt on Instagram, and I'd love to hear from you. Continue doing what it is you are doing from a place of love, and I will see you next time.